One really excellent question that we received on our Facebook page was, where does the crisis end and care begin?
None of us want to find ourselves in a crisis situation. That's the reality. It does happen sometimes because the world can change very quickly. You trip up, you have a fall, break your neck or femur, and things have changed for you. But by and large, what we see is sometimes people are almost walking into a crisis because they're not as connected, perhaps, as they might be with the community around them. And of course, if you are connected with the community around you, then there are eyes and ears who are picking up on changes and are able to maybe point you in the right direction before something bad hits you, really. So we're great advocates of trying to ensure that people have those social networks around them that can give them the support and the resilience, if you like, to be able to manage their lives in the way they want to. So, for example, a lot of the stuff we do isn't rocket science, it's just finding ways that work for people to bring them together. Because what we know is when people connect with others and they've got a reason to get up in the morning because they're meeting other people, they feel their sense of self-worth increases, sense of self-value. They're giving to other people. You know, it's that old 5 ways to well-being, if you like, where they're connecting with people, they're giving, they're active, they're noticing what's going on, they're engaged in what's around them. And that is such an important thing for people, because what we see quite a lot of is that it's very easy when certain things hit people for them to become disconnected from what's going on around them. You know, if you lose your partner, your family's a long way away, you don't know your neighbours, your health isn't very good, your mobility is poor, you haven't got very much money, your world shrinks for you. And you can get stuck then in a room, 4 walls and a TV, and the longer you're there, the harder it is to get out, and the longer you're on your own, the more time you've got to think about all the problems you've got. And that's when we see low-level depression, anxiety, and that kind of thing. So it's thinking about, for lots of people, it's not thinking about the end stage, kind of residential care or anything like that. It's thinking about what can I do here and now that makes me feel better about myself, helps me get the most from life. And are there things out there? What are the barriers to that? And are there things out there that can help me? And then there's maybe a progression as people's health fails or whatever, where you just move along a kind of spectrum that works for you. And that's what we're all about, I think. You know, we spend our lives, don't we, trying to find what's the right solution for people. And that's not about taking control away from people, it's about supporting them to live the kind of life they want to.
I think a lot of people think about care as if it's something that health or social care does. So when people ask when does the crisis end and the care begin, they're maybe not necessarily thinking about that sense of community and the fact that lots of people will be having care all the time in a very informal way from their family, from their friends, neighbours, work colleagues, the lady in the shop. So that the giving of care, this kind of thing that you receive, I think is happening all the time. So that's when it's kind of a bit of a tricky question to answer because it's there all the time. But there are times in people's lives, I think, when they really then need it. It becomes more obvious. There's an event, perhaps they fall over or they have an ill health episode or they receive some news about their health that's not great. Or maybe their partner dies. You know, it could be all sorts of things that kick them into a place where they start to say, oh, I need something else now that helps look after me and me to maintain my independence. And that then can become some other form of care. And that can become formal care, whether it's from, you know, health provider, a charity or social services or, you know, a supportive place like Age Concern or Age UK, for example.